I was super duper excited as soon as I saw Elon confirm the existence of this prototype, which kind of hasn't really even been mentioned or talked about in the past 5 years. And if you hate the types of videos when I kind of do a whole subject based upon a very short and brief Elon tweet, you're gonna hate this video because it was a very short and brief Elon tweet. But all I needed was a confirmation of some kind, okay? And essentially he was answering someone when he was talking about Tesla rolling out this 4D autopilot rewrite, and someone was asking if theoretically could you summon Teslas with level 5 autonomy across states. You know, you could be in a different part of the country and say, actually, I want my Tesla to come pick me up for some reason, just for the sake of it being cool. Or you flew to a location, maybe you drove somewhere and got dropped off, and now you want your car back or something like that. And he said that yes, they will technically be capable of doing smart summon across the country. That is, assuming they actually roll out their snake charger. I think he called it like a Metal Gear arm charger or whatever, which was a prototype many years ago that Tesla uploaded a video of, but then kind of went silent on it. To give you perspective, when they uploaded this video, the Model 3 was not a thing yet. I don't even think it had been unveiled yet, and that's how long they've kind of been silent on it. And someone was asking as a follow-up, like, are we actually going to see those supercharger arms that can plug themselves in? And Elon responded with yes. No timeline, no prices, no anything really revealed, but my hope here is that Tesla can, you know, like they always do, assume that robo-taxis and level 5 autonomy are right around the corner, and for that reason start rolling out these types of snake chargers, which I've explained in the past why they're so much more practical and so much more logical than vehicles with wireless charging. Feel free to go check out that video if you want a more in-depth analysis on why this is so much better, but I'm a big fan of it, even though I don't really believe level 5 autonomy is right around the corner. If you've watched some of my videos on autopilot and full self-driving, you know that I think that it's way further off than Tesla makes it out to be, and I'm excited to see this autopilot 4D rewrite that's supposed to be so much better, and Elon says requires no interventions, but frankly, 4 to 6 weeks ago, Elon said that we would get the private beta, and here we are, and he's saying, a few weeks from now, we'll get the beta. So I think they're constantly working on it, and Elon is not very good at predicting the timeline on when these features are actually going to roll out to the public, but I don't care, because I think this is a great feature in itself, even if we never achieve level 5 autonomy. Just the idea that if it's bad weather, whether it's snowing or raining or just windy outside, even if the weather is perfectly great, to be honest, and you're just lazy like I am, I love the idea of backing a Tesla into a supercharger and the charger just plugs itself in without any assistance. You don't even have to get out of the car. You can just sit there, watch movies, play games, do what you normally do in a Tesla, and just that more extra levels of autonomy are implemented to the Tesla experience. And like I've said before, I think the superchargers are the greatest advantage Tesla has over their competitors because the network is so incredibly large. They just put up a huge station in Germany, and it's so simple. It's so cheap and easy to integrate, and it's very easy for people to understand that if you buy a Tesla, you go to the Tesla superchargers, which are automatically integrated into the navigation system, and when you plug in, there's no credit card swipe. It just electronically handles all of that, and you're charging, and you handle that on the interior Tesla display. And for that reason, and just the sheer size of the supercharger network, I already think it's a huge advantage, and I think a lot of people wish that more EVs had a network as great as the Tesla supercharger network. Now imagine if with all those benefits they start rolling out these snake charge plugs, which sure, they may have some issues with them. You know, how do they make sure that these things work in all weather conditions, and how do they implement them into current supercharging stations, and how do they make sure they don't hit anybody on accident and that kind of thing. I always thought it'd be funny if, you know, when sometimes internal combustion engine vehicles like to troll the superchargers by parking in them, they had these snake chargers there. They could just whip around and start scraping up the side of the pickup truck because it's like, hey, you're not supposed to park here. I know, that's crazy, it won't happen, but it would be hilarious if it did. And I imagine with all the moving parts involved with a snake charger like this, it's probably not that cheap to mass produce, though Tesla's goal is to become one of the best manufacturing companies in the world, so I'm sure that they probably can find ways of making this cheaper and easier. Given there's a certain range of heights that the supercharger plugs all fall within, maybe it doesn't have to be as intricate or as complicated complicated as this, where you have all these different joints to choose from. Maybe they can simplify it a little bit so that it's a bit easier to scale and roll out and install at lots of different superchargers. But if that be the case, I think the supercharger network would have a permanent advantage over other stations out there, just because even the competition with like Electrify America, they may have a lot of stations, not quite as many as Tesla superchargers, but they have significantly fewer stalls than Tesla superchargers typically do. And now if you find out, hey, if you buy a Tesla, you can use a supercharger that will plug itself in, you don't even have to get out of the car to start charging, man, that would just sweeten the deal for all of Tesla's vehicles even further, to know how simple that would be. And it's things like the Model X auto open doors and the simplicity of getting into a Tesla and not having any ignition to worry about and just things working automatically. And this is the type of thing I want our future to be about. It's like, yeah, in the old days we had to get out of our car and plug them in, or in the real old days we had to fill them up with gasoline, but now we just park near the supercharger and it decides to plug itself in, which technologically I know it's pretty much possible. It's just a matter of scale and how expensive would this be to roll out. But either way, I'm glad to see Elon confirm it, because I want to see this be a thing. In fact, I would love it if Tesla would actually sell these. Sure, it might be several $1,000s, much more expensive than a typical Tesla wall charger, but I think there's some markets out there that would be willing to pay for it if they knew that, hey, you can just back your EV into the garage, and as soon as you back up, the charge plug automatically plugs in. And given most people charge at home anyway, like, you wouldn't even think about charging, right? All you'd have to do is just park in a certain place at the end of the day, and boom, you always wake up to a 80 or 90% charge every morning. That would be amazing. So really glad to see Elon say that we are going to see these, and they are coming out. It's just a matter of time, and because Tesla thinks robo-taxis are around the corner, my hope is they roll them out soon, right? Because even if there's no level 5, that would be an awesome feature. What do you guys think? Am I overhyped or super excited about something that's not that big a deal? Feel free to let me know. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.